been hearing it all on the radio. It's wonderful. The production is great. The music, I loved it all. So we've got Carolyn on. Hey, there you are. I can see you, but you can't see me. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, welcome to the Indie Voice Show. You know, ever since our chat on the Capital Jazz Super Cruise, I've been excited about having you on the show to,
Yeah.
discuss your musical journey and to share your story about what inspires and motivates you and the message in your music.
Mhm.
And I also must admit that I was drawn to your kind and peaceful spirit. I mean, I could have sat there for hours, but I ain't want to be a stalker. I ain't want to bug you, so you was all in your peace, trying to, be still and be quiet and doing some reading. And I'm like, excuse me.
Oh, no, you are fine. You're absolutely fine. We ended up having this really long, wonderful conversation. Like
Yes.
this.
So I thank you. And here you are. And
Yes.
so let's get right into the interview. Let's
Okay.
talk about where it all began for you. Your great grandfather
Mhm.
was a jazz pianist, so you had musical influence very early on. So tell us a little about that.
Well, I knew him for just the first few years of my life.
Hmm.
My clear memory of him is just, being at the piano
Hmm.
and having like looking at his hands on my hands, just, playing chords. I remember not really conversations, but um, the way my family like passes down our legacy is like very traditional. We do it through, stories.
Hmm.
So most of what I know about my great grandfather, I know from those stories. Like I know his nickname for me was Cookie, and I know I don't know if that was because I was a round child. I was like portly, like very fast.
Hmm.
And one other thing that he observed about me, which has probably been my strongest lesson from him, is that like he would tell my parents like to watch me, like look at her, like watch her, like watch her walk, like she may stumble but she never falls, she has great balance.
Mm.
So my dad is like throughout my life like had this mantra like balance is the key to life, like balance is the key to life. And he always goes back to that story. So even when things like with music and traveling get really busy, I have to remind myself that balance is important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about what this journey has been like for you so far. I know that I guess about a year ago you actually were afforded the opportunity to do this full time, and that is
Yeah.
truly a blessing in and of itself. So,
Yeah.
so what has it been like? What has this roller coaster ride been like for you?
Ooh, girls been topsy turvy. So let's see. I've been writing all my life, songs,
Mm-hmm.
poetry, um, rhymes, you name it. And then also like composing on piano. Even though I don't read music yet,
Mm-hmm.
I hear it. I have good ears and I can play, by ear.
Mm-hmm.
And then in college, I discovered this music production software. And if you know, like the Final Cut Pro Suite, it's from the old, I think, I forget what version it was from, but it was this little component called Soundtrack.
Uh-huh.
So I used to produce beats for myself
Mm-hmm.
through Soundtrack. And that's actually when I really fell in love with technology because it was then that I discovered that I could use technology to solve my problem. So I am a musician in my head at that time. I was
Mm-hmm.
just a musician in my head with songs, but I didn't have any music. And I was, you know, wanting to work with live musicians, but at that point in time, none were around me.
Mm-hmm.
So I solved my own problem by composing my own music digitally, and
Wow.
that allowed me to go out and perform. So fast forward, you know, I graduated from college and I went to live in Baltimore,
Mm-hmm.
and I, took a job in the hospitality industry, which allowed me to use my, skills I learned in college.
Mm-hmm.
But still was doing music on the Baltimore spoken word scene. And then one day in 2008, I just lost my job.
Mm-hmm.
Companies were getting rid of people left and right.
Mm-hmm.
And the company I was working for reduced their workforce by 20%, I
Mm-hmm.
think. And my position was just simply eliminated. So went through a lot. You know, lost my house, lost my car,
Oh,
and almost
wow.
lost my mind. But grace of God, you know.
Jesus.
Grace
Wow.
of God. And so after, but you
Excuse
know,
me.
I've been saying this to people
I
where
need
I
to get some of
was,
her music on.
you know, broke and I was cash poor. I was time rich.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
I need
I
to write
really
that down.
invested my time to just write, and I invested my emotions to create more music. And then I ended up, you know, joining the Recording Academy and learning so much about the music industry. Like I had a good business mind, but I didn't really know the music industry because I wasn't exposed to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I met my mentor, James McKinney, through the Recording Academy. We went to
Wow.
work on Lines, Fires, and Squares.
Uh-huh.
We released that in July of 2010. And I finally got a new job November 2011.
What you from 2008?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then, you know, I was doing odds, and then, you know, you do what you need to do to survive.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, like I was doing a bunch of community arts projects. So, you know, thank God it helped me, you know, get to that point. But I took that job in 2011 in November, and then I got a phone call in December about the Grammy nomination, like literally November 22nd, 2011. I remember because numbers. And then December 1st.
I'll give you some hand claps on that.
But you know, the journey definitely continued from there. You know, I had to take a look at my life when the Grammy nomination happened because, yeah, it was great. And, you know, there's a bunch of, you know, people who are discovering your music for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these opportunities to perform in these different places, and there's a lot of cameras, and everybody wants to talk to you. So,
wow.
You know, you got to make a decision. So I decided I was going to use all of that attention to speak about things that were important to me, like access to global education. Like that's really important to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I, you know, spoke about that, you know, through my videos and through other interviews. But I stayed at my job.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really tough. But, you know, thank God I had somebody looking out for me there who really believed in me. And, you know, when I had to make a break for it, like I had to, you know, go out on the road or something, that person covered for me. And it wasn't easy. Like Friday nights, right after work, I would be on a plane to the West Coast, do what I need to do out there, and then take a red eye back on Sunday and land like an hour before work starts on Monday and do the same thing over and over again. Like you get up in the morning, you know, take care of all the administrative stuff for your music, for my music in the morning, then, you know, rehearsals and recording sessions had to happen at night, you know, after work or, you know, shows. So I did that same grind, if you will, for almost 4 years.
Wow.
And just recently in June, realized an exit strategy with my team, and we executed that, and now I'm able to pursue my art full time, and it would not have happened without definitely the grace of God, but, you know, my family was just so supportive.
Wow, that is beautiful.
I'm trying not to tear up. My family's been very supportive.
Don't get me started, because look,
so.
Don't get me started, because I'll start boohooing at the drop of a hat. That's beautiful.
You know, so but no, here we are, and
wow,
the journey just continues to be ever the more exciting.
Wow, that is a beautiful story. And you know what? There is a reason at this moment, at this time, that you are saying this, because there are people out there that are probably at a crossroad, or you know, are thinking, oh gosh, what are my next steps? And you're thinking, okay, you know, I don't know, you know, what I'm going to do next, and how am I going to live? How am I going to eat? But it all just seems to work itself out. So let me ask you something. Do you think that had the layoff not happened in 2008, that you would be where you are in your musical career?
No, because I wouldn't have been hungry.
Wow. Okay. That's beautiful, man. Okay, I know I needed to hear that right now because I'm going through some personal things myself. So that is very encouraging and motivational. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Sure thing. I would also say that I read this somewhere, like right at the right time,
Uh-huh.
that the conditions to create change, like the conditions to create change are never perfect, but they're always present.
Right,
So,
right. I need to write that down. Hold on. Conditions. I'm taking notes while I'm interviewing.
oh yeah.
So describe what your day is like. What is the day in the life of Carolyn Malachi like? Describe one good day.
One day,
Yeah,
well,
yeah, I
today
know.
you
It's
wake up and your heater's off, and you have to call the repairman to come fix your furnace. Oh my gosh. No, so I'm actually still working on the structure of the different types of days that I have, because I have days where I'm at home, I do my work from home. And
Mhm.
by work, I mean all, the administrative stuff that I need to do to support my teammates, because my teammates are out there kicking butt every day.
Mhm.
And um, there are things that I have to do though, so that they can kick butt.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I have to do my part of the kick butt, so they can do their thing, you know. Um, so there's that, I wake up actually, I wake up, I pray, and I make myself a cup of tea and I have an apple, and then I just get right to it.
Uh-huh.
And until I'm hungry again.
Mhm.
My most of my days are driven by food. I eat a lot, like I love food.
I can't
So
tell.
uh, I get up and I just work until it's done, and I try to take some quiet time. I definitely do the gym. I do yoga a lot,
Mhm.
so I'll do that at the house.
Mhm.
But I've actually lately been spending most of my time on the road or just not at home. So really, those days are sort of dictated by the schedule that
Mhm.
I have. Like a couple days ago, I did a photo shoot with Lafayette 148 in New York. They are a women's clothing brand. They are fly, and I love them. And their clothes, like you would love it, Wendy. Like my grandmother loves their clothes, and I'm
Uh-huh.
sure there's some teeny boppers who would love their clothes. It's just so, you know, diverse. Like the tastes are just it was just a great experience. Anyway,
Do you wear mostly their clothes when you perform?
now I will be.
Okay.
I
Okay.
wore them to the Grammys this past year. That white suit, the
Oh, that was
picture,
beautiful. Okay.
yeah, that was from Lafayette 148. So if you're watching and you're curious about them, I believe their website is Lafayette148ny.com. If it's not, just Google Lafayette 148. You'll
Okay.
be very impressed. But that schedule, for that day, I woke up, took care of some of the administrative stuff, got on the train at 9 o'clock. The train didn't get to New York until 3 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
because of, delays. And I had to wake up the next morning. Call time was 11, photo shoot until 5 o'clock, which
Mhm.
was, photo shoots are hard work.
Mhm.
And then got back on the train, 8 o'clock, came home at 11,
Oh.
wake up and do it all over again.
But it's different when you're doing something that you really enjoy doing or that you're passionate and love to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. So let's talk about the message in your music.
Mhm.
So what is the message in your music, and how did you become so passionate about it?
Well, it varies.
Mhm.
Definitely, based on the subject matter and, what I'm feeling at the time. Ultimately, I would rather say that the mission, like the big vision, the mission for the music is to inspire, ignite, and nurture the human spirit.
Mhm.
And it wasn't hard for me to decide to do that because the musicians that I've listened to have done that for me.
Mhm.
Michelle Nigel, Layla Hathaway,
Mhm.
Sarah Vaughan, Beck. Like these are artists who really challenged me to, look at life
Mhm.
a little bit differently and look at my life and decide to own my life. Take it, take inventory of what I listen to and what I read and what I choose to put out into the world.
Mhm.
So I want to do that for other people because it was done for me. So it's easy.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So do you remember the first song that you ever wrote?
No, but I remember the conditions under which I wrote that song. So my I used to do things as a child that would get me in trouble, and so my parents invented this very interesting way of punishing me,
Hmm.
but it worked out. So thank you, parents. So they would send me to my room and make me like read the dictionary and find words that I didn't know, and then I'd have to write a story with
Oh.
those words.
Okay.
And those stories, because I was so like, I guess musically inclined, those stories just became songs. And I do remember the first rap verse I wrote. I wrote that in high school,
Hmm.
Spanish class. I was bored. So, not that I don't love Spanish, but it was just a boring class. The teacher wasn't that engaging. Um, and I wrote it to prepare for a battle, which I never participated in,
Hmm.
but wrote it.
Hmm.
So, writing has always been my, I guess, escape from boredom.
Hmm.
But it's also just been my go-to. My mom, she was always like, wherever you go, write down everything, write everything. So,
So
yeah.
so let's talk about your writing process. Do you intentionally sit down to write, or do you just come across something that inspires a thought or a concept and you just start writing? Then do you like grab your phone and start record? What is it that you do? What is your writing process like?
Lately, because I have this space and time now to
Mhm.
create.
Mhm.
Um, Lately, I've been able to just write whenever I want to, and that can mean, yes, taking time to just write on the computer. But if I take time to process my emotions, and you know, I find that I write when I'm clear on what I'm feeling or when I'm clear on what I'm seeing.
Mhm.
And most of my lyrics and melodies come to me when I'm in motion.
Mhm.
So, especially when I'm driving, which is good for me because it forces me to remember what it is I'm singing and saying, or
Mhm.
rhyming, because I'm not writing it down, so I have to keep it in my head.
Mhm.
So,
So do you hear the music first, or do you hear the verses?
it depends.
Okay.
It depends. Like sometimes, like let's say I'm driving,
Mhm.
and let's say, and unfortunately, somebody catches a flat. There's a car that catches a flat next to me.
Mhm.
So maybe that,
Mhm.
that could make me think of a rhythm. Like,
Uh-huh.
so sometimes it happens like that. It's just random.
Right. I've done that. I've experienced that too. Kevin, what was that? We were the guy that came to do the cable or something. It was the Verizon ringtone. It was something. I was like, "Ooh, that sounds like a good melody for a song." So, okay, so let's talk about your team and the people that support you and believe in your vision. So, what was it like forming your team? I know that didn't happen overnight, and it was a process. So,
Yeah.
tell us about that.
Well, it's been a journey, and I've been fortunate to work with people who, it's the thing they say about seasons, right? So, however short or long people come into your life
Yes.
for, some people are in your life for a short season or for a long season.
Yes.
And I have been very, very fortunate to meet people who were in my life for the time they were supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very helpful, and they helped me they taught me a lot. And even if the person or the teammate at that time was around and maybe they didn't stay for a long time, then they were able to teach me what not to look for in
Mm-hmm.
future teammates. So, I mean, it took years, like literally years. Like when I got the Grammy nomination, I mean, I knew the concept of teams from a corporate standpoint, but just
Mm-hmm.
applying that to life as an artist, that was new, that
Right.
was different. But because I had the corporate background,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to at least, you know on my vision board, able to say, okay, well, these are the components of, an ideal team. And then I just started asking around for people who knew people. And then, DJ Wazio, who is at WPFW, a really good friend of mine, huge supporter. He introduced me to one of the guys who manages me now. And, like I said, James McKinney's always been my mentor. So we just, we all pull our heads together, and everything we do is like all hands on deck. So I don't know that I would be able to do anything without these guys, because they're just so thorough, and they're passionate, and they're intelligent. And we all are functioning from the same mission. We believe in the power of music to change the world. So even if we get a gig and we say, the pay's not that great, if the conditions are right, and it's going to serve the people, we might end up doing that gig. These are conversations we have within the fold, within the team. Like, we're very aware of purpose, and we try to stay on message, and we try to work very efficiently and expeditiously as well. We're scrappy.
Great.
Very scrappy.
Great. So tell us, or do you care to share any upcoming projects or collaborations that you're working on right now?
Yeah, so I'm working on a project with the Global Fund for Women. They are an amazing organization. You should check them out. They're based in San Francisco, California. But they recently had a worldwide hackathon. So there are all these girls across the globe, and girls in India, Nigeria, Brazil, New York, Oakland, Taiwan, like, all hacking at the same time, creating solutions to problems that they were experiencing. Like, I talked to a group of, via Skype, I was talking to a group of girls in New York, and there were two teams. Shout out to Girls Who Code. Really enjoyed talking to them. One group created an app to locate like accurate sources of like prenatal care, or like what I forget the term that they use, but I was just like, wow, you're 12 and you're thinking about this. It was reliable like reproductive services resources, like an app to put all that together. Like, why? First I was impressed, and then kind of hurt. You're 12. Why do you have to think about that? But it was very empowering, because it was them saying, okay, look, this is an issue in my community, in my circle. I've got technology on hand, and this is how I'm choosing to affect change. So the collaboration is something very special, which I do not want to mention, but you should just be, looking for it to happen soon. Yeah.
Okay, that's exciting. I can't wait to hear more. So which is a good segue into this next question. So how can people stay connected and informed of what you're doing, your different social media sites?
Oh yeah, well, I'm available. Probably too much, but hit me up. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I just joined the Snapchat revolution. Facebook, of course. That's the hub. Carolyn Malachi for most of those. Twitter is Carolyn_Malachi. Always, you can check CarolynMalachi.com and click on the calendar link for shows. We have several shows coming up. I'm here in Chicago. I'll be in Chicago April 24th. Let's see. DC officially opening for Eric Roberson in May.
Yes.
At the Birchmere. So come check out those dates. That's going to be an awesome show.
Yes.
And if you're anywhere in Asia, in Taiwan, China, and I know China is a huge country, or Papua New Guinea, I will be there with my band in March through April. So we have a tour there through American Music Abroad. So basically, the State Department is sending us out to be ambassadors on behalf of the United States, we're going to be facilitating cultural diplomacy through music
Wow.
in those three countries.
That's beautiful. So make sure you at least, for some of us who would like to live vicariously through you, just make sure just take lots of pictures, post them on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Just let us live through you. That is fantastic.
We'll experience it together. I'm going to do my best. I don't know what the Wi-Fi conditions are over there, but I will do my best.
Okay, so also people that one of the causes that you're interested in is the Ignite Project for Women and Girls in Technology. So is there any way that the listening viewing audience can help you in support of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So that is the project with Global Fund for Women, the Ignite campaign. So what I would say is what you'll really want to do is get to know Global Fund for Women online. Google them, Global Fund for Women. And then during the month of April, expect to be very wowed and impressed. We'll have something for you to share with all of your friends. And if you care to, after you go to the Global Fund for Women site and check out the Ignite campaign, if you choose to donate to that organization, please do. They have identified champions for different galleries. I'm the champion for the Creatives Gallery. Sheryl Sandberg is a champion. I'm sure you guys have heard of her. So just get involved. See how you can get involved. There's so much to do.
Okay. Well, thank you. We're going to take a quick commercial break and come back with a final question.
Okay.
And we'll be right back.
That's good.
Okay, so we're back. Okay, I have one final question because we have to wrap it up. I really hate to end. So let's talk about your legacy. When it's all said and done, what legacy would you like to leave behind?
You know what? It's funny you just asked me that. Somebody about 30 seconds ago, and I'm not going to read their name, but they just tagged me, and I'm going to. This should sum it up. All right. This person wrote. They posted an image of "Beautiful Dreamer," the song. They said, "My oldest daughter has been listening to this song since it was released. I could cry every time I hear it. To know that someone truly believes in you and the beauty of your dreams is powerful, but it's even more powerful when you begin to believe it yourself. And this song challenges me every time. The world needs you. Please, please don't give up." And then she goes on to talk about her experiences. She almost committed suicide, and she had, just her issue with medications. I don't want to get too much into it. But she closes her message with these words: "This song has been a balm to my spirit." That's what I want.
Wow.
Like, I want to keep making that music that is healing and moving, that takes you on a journey. And you end up, feeling better about life, or at least thinking about life differently. So
yes. Wow, that's beautiful. And kudos to you for getting through that without tearing up. I was about to tear up again.
Yeah,
that
I
is
didn't
just
read
something.
the whole thing because I didn't want to.
To know that you have that impact on someone's life, that is, and to know that you're making a difference, that's powerful. And music does that.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's a blessing.
So we're going to end this with the "Set Your Mind, Set Your Week" quote. And that is, "A positive attitude causes a chain reaction of positive thoughts, events, and outcomes. It is a catalyst, and it sparks extraordinary results. And that was by Wade Boggs. Now, the takeaway from that for me, so this week's inspirational message was inspired by you, Carolyn Malachi. I believe that the positive outweighs the negative. Light outshines the dark. And if we choose and continue to spread love and light, this world would be a more beautiful and better place. So choose to make a difference. So with that, we are going to end the show. I say let me first hand claps. So, I just want to say, I know you're cracking up over there, but thank you so much. I really appreciate that you took the time, and I cannot wait for you to come here and we can hug each other physically instead of virtually, and you can sing and perform for us live. So, thank you so much for sharing your gift of song and for your beautiful spirit. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. And for the person that called, I'm sorry you didn't call back. I was waiting, but thank you for taking the time. I'd like to say thank you for Kevin. Thanks, Kevin. Thank you for those of you that are watching. My aunt and my son are here. Eric, broadcast engineer, thank you so much. We've got the Earth Show standing in wait. Hello. Make sure you stay tuned for the Earth Show that is coming up next. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you support indie artists, support the indie artist movement. Make sure you stay tuned and keep a watch out for Carolyn Malachi's music. She's doing beautiful things. And I will see you next time. Love you guys. Mwah.